All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I made it. I'm not working on it anymore. We got it. We're good. We're all set. Don't worry. Hello. Welcome back to NieR Automata. Welcome back. Welcome. Yes. No. You're right. This time I was pouring myself a drink. That was my fault. I was talking about stupid, funny things that I'm sure I'll probably bring up today. So. Anyway, but yes, so sorry for the delay. We are started tonight. It is, I was a little late, as is tradition. At this point, I'm just kind of going for it. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm trying to work on it. Anyway, hello, Kylie. Welcome, anyone else? So, anyway, let's jump back into it. Yeah, let's just continue, and then we'll work on game volume, which seems slightly loud. Is it? Or is that just me? No, is it the loading screen? That's all. All right, let's do it. All right. Okay. So we're getting back into it, and I actually have no idea. I'm realizing gradually that I cannot get a good grasp on the length of this game. Because of the different storylines. So this game could end at almost literally any point, and I would be taken entirely by surprise. But also, it could perfectly well just happen any moment. Let's check that out. Interesting. So yeah, it could happen at roughly any moment. The ending of this game could sneak up on me. Although not quite, because... Oh. I actually want to see what endings I have. I think I only have A, B, and C. There's still D and E. I have only A, B, and K. And K was the weird fish one. So I still have C, D, and E. As I understand it, D and E are relatively, I guess, close together is the right way of saying it. But C is its own thing, so I don't know. Alright, let's... Alright. Any of you who are familiar with this game, and I am coming up, if I'm at any point coming up on an ending, even if it's just one of the endings, do let me know so I can make some kind of a deal of it. I'd like to integrate that into thumbnails and such, but I'm recognizing that my thumbnail creation is suffering a little bit because I'm having to reuse some things because I don't know what to use. So, anyway. Let's see. I think we picked up some new stuff for him, so... Handed over enemy data. Nice. No enemy data, is it? Thank you. Oh, and there's no need to come all the way here every time you find a new enemy. Just swing by when you've collected a decent amount of data. Okay, sure. Can I go down here? Actually, I can just go back to where I was, and I can transport out, can't I? Think. Yeah, should be able to. Oh, another android corpse. Anyway, one of the dumb things I was talking about was, if you'll excuse the poorly timed sip, was a fun recent-ish bit of YouTube and Twitch drama. I would just call it YouTube drama for sake of simplicity, but it also involves Twitch pretty significantly. Oh no, bad timing. Oh jeez. Oh, this is very bad. Okay, hold on. I am completely surrounded. Hey, Manfred, welcome. Crap. Am I dead? Oh my god, I'm dead. Okay. Okay, so I wasn't expecting that fight, like, at all. So let's try this again, shall we? Oh my gosh. Alright, well, oops. The good news is we'll respawn right next to our bodies. We can just collect the deadness. Be fine. Anyway, so YouTube drama. YouTube and Twitch drama, I guess I should say. Oh, come on. Really? There. Oh, come on. Anyway. So, there's this trend on Twitch, mostly, which is a streaming site, where streamers who are going multiple hours a day need to fill time with some kind of content. So, what is one to do? Produce original content, or, just kind of use someone else's? Naturally, people would prefer to use someone else's content. Where's my corpse? Should be right here. Is it not? No, I'm fine. That's really weird. Alright, anyway, let's transport out of here, shall we? Oh, quick save. Let's see. Where are we going? Not that. Yeah, I guess we're doing the actual quest, the actual main story quest, right? Yeah, down there. Probably. No, that's much lower. I'll go up here. Ruin Center. Hey, Raleigh. Welcome again. There. Anyway. Yeah, so, a lot of Twitch streamers, this is becoming a trend, really, a trend that just died on YouTube a very long time ago, kind of thankfully. A bunch of Twitch streamers will really commonly just sort of have YouTube videos playing and, giant scare quotes, react to them, by which I mean... or something along those lines. I timed that very well for a loading screen, for maximum boredom, which I assume exactly what they're going for. Because I think it works. In any case, this is a fairly common practice now, to the point where at least some people who do it are starting to catch some flack for it. Enter Hassan Piker, who, if you're big on Twitch, or if you follow Twitch, apparently you may have heard of him. I guess he's Twitch famous for some absurd reason. Like, he doesn't even have the ordinary kind of assets that makes one relatively successful on Twitch. But, I guess, what are you gonna do? Use what you got, I suppose. What's with this? That's interesting. Ah, I can hack it. Oh, no, I can't.
Hello, and thank you for choosing Tower System Services. Special authorization keys are required to access Tower subunits. We apologize for the inconvenience, but access is not permitted at this time.
What in the world?
However, today we have a special gift for first-time visitors to this tower. A tour of our brand new resource recovery unit. We look forward to serving you again.
The heck was that?
A forced message from the enemy system.
Said message relays the locations of objects known as resource recovery units.
Now they're just messing with us.
Maybe? So either they're messing with us, or...
Give me a rundown on what happened while I was resting.
Affirmative.
this may also be another one of those,
The massive facility you just accessed.
them trying
It
to
appears to be machine-related in origin.
imitate something
Though
that they don't
further details
understand.
are unknown. Additionally, the large structural units launched from the facility have been detected in multiple areas.
Large structural units?
Said units were marked as goals earlier.
I keep tripping.
They are believed to be so-called resource recovery units.
What do these units do?
Unknown.
Where's A2?
Unit A2's position and current status are unknown.
Alright. Mark the positions of those units on my map, will you?
Alright then. Oh, not that. Not that either. Not that either. Oh, okay, so I don't have any locations. Alright, they'll show up eventually, I suppose.
Proposal. Unit 9S should state his intentions.
I'm going to wipe out the machines.
With the bunker destroyed, previous orders to Yorha units would be suspended. Proposal. Rendezvous with resistance forces and confirm chain of command.
I don't care about chain of command. I have one goal now.
We'll find out what it is in a moment. There we go.
I'm going to kill every last machine. And then I'm going to kill A2.
Oh. Well, alright then. So, no, then. No to sanity. Got it. Well, that's an interesting place to go to. Oh, I bet those resource recovery things were that giant weird mob that was down by the shore, wasn't it? Really should have paid more attention to that thing. Maybe should have done Nine's story first. It told me what the hell the thing was. Anyway, so Hassan Piker is one of the most notorious Twitch streamers for doing this sort of thing of just sort of borrowing YouTuber content and just kind of playing YouTube videos during his. What is going on here? I really hope this isn't my controller sticking, but it might be. Crap. This might be my controller sticking. In which case, I might... Oh, God. I may need to switch controls. Hold on a second. Sorry about this. Okay. Let's try that again. Hopefully be fine now. Better. Okay, much better. No one here. Figured. So let's go into the forest. Which way is the forest? I forget. Anyway. So part of the part of the point of the part of the problem, right, with all this is that Twitch streamers don't exactly tend to do a lot of this copying with the intent of attribution or anything else like that. Right? Typically, what they'll just do is they will just copy content or just kind of watch content without really attributing, and they'll very often even go out of their way not to attribute the content to the creators. They won't mention the original video or the channel or anything like that. And so their excuse is, you know, they're giving clout or whatever to the YouTubers and all that. Yeah, Erica, I just unplugged and replugged, and it seems to be doing the trick. At least mostly. Much better. Not perfect, but it's much better. Yeah, that thing. That's what I thought. Resource unit.
Is that one of our large units?
Affirmative. Said unit of
Huh?
What?
Fog?
analysis. The fog is actually steam emitted by a large enemy structural unit.
Steam? For what purpose?
Unknown.
Well, all right then. Anyway, so this became a huge drama item when he watched one of JX's videos, who actually makes some pretty fun content. He's a regular contributor to EFAP, which is a podcast where I heard about all this. And oh, here we go.
Hello. This is the resource recovery unit. Now activating defense mode.
Excuse me? Hey, you invited me here. If you'll excuse me. But so Hassan and actually a couple of other streamers I think
Is
did
this
this
writing?
too.
I can't read it.
Analysis. Writing is an ancient language known as angelic. It reads, meat box.
Okay, then.
Interesting. So the video was a tour of a really weird house, like a virtual tour, like on one of those real estate sites. It was neat. I'll see if I can find it and I'll throw it in the description. Because it was a really cool video. I actually did go back and watch it on its own. And so he just kind of watched it, watched the whole thing.
Even on the inside?
Analysis. Many useless parts unrelated to machine lifeform functionality detected. The reason for using said parts is unknown.
There's no meaning to anything they do.
This is a boss chamber, isn't it? Probably. In any case, right? So it was a cool video. He basically watched the whole thing, and at some points even just sort of walked away, came back with food or, you know, to go take a dump or whatever. And so Jay responded by doing the same thing to Hassan's video. He basically played Hassan's video with himself in the corner, and then, like, 2 minutes in, he says, "Oh, I gotta go up and take a shit," and he gets up and leaves the room. Comes back a minute later for his phone, and then he's out of the room for a while. And like the parody is perfect, and of course Hassan is not very bright, so he doesn't actually catch that that he's making fun of him. He just thinks that oh well, he left the room too, so that makes him hypocritical or something. Anyway, it was the whole back and forth debacle was hilariously absurd, to the point where it really sheds a lot of light on the there we go, on the problem. But then also, it really points out the maybe a cultural difference, I guess, between YouTubers and Twitch streamers, where YouTube tends to be a heavy focus on original content, and part of that is because of the whole content ID stuff and the extent to which YouTube is very strict about copyright, which I'm not a big fan of. But at the same time, if there's a market for whatever reason for basically somebody just copying content and just kind of watching it along, I guess that is a market. And there are people who can enjoy that and will see that as, in some bizarre way, transformative. But, you know, if you want, I think it's just incredibly stupid as a source of content or as a type of content. Okay, here we go. You guys know my views on intellectual property more broadly, but oh, my capacity is at full for melee defense. That's weird. Anyway, but it was quite a ridiculous and hilarious exchange, and I won't spoil the whole thing. I'll put up a video I'll put up a few relevant links, including the EFAP podcast that came out like yesterday or so, going over the whole drama, kind of walking through it step by step and actually commenting on it, not just kind of watching it happen. So anyway, that was one of the things that I was just kind of happened to be talking about. And it's one of the things that it's been on my mind lately because it's it's a very funny situation because it involves a pretty funny person getting into conflict with a pretty dumb person, and the funny person coming out on top, and the very dumb person showing himself to be very dumb. Oh, jeez. Yeah, one of the funny parts also is Hassan. So, if you don't know who Hassan Piker is, he's the nephew of what's his name? Cenk Uygur, who is one of the founder of the Young Turks, the internet news network, the YouTube news network. Which it's actually he kind of got his start from kind of, I guess, internet nepotism, I guess, if you want. Just on his connections to Cenk Uygur, the Young Turks. But by contrast, he's I mean, Cenk isn't the brightest bulb, but Hassan is unbelievably dumb. He regularly live streams with AOC, and their combined IQ certainly could not reach room temperature. In any case, he also we find out in this back and forth, he also he also lives with his mom. But of course, any of his viewers will correct you instantly if you say that. It's not that he lives with his mom lives with him, because he lets his mom live at his place, because he's apparently absolutely loaded. But this also means that his mom regularly, takes care of his entire living arrangement. To the point where he mentioned at one point, why he leaves midstream, why he just kind of wanders off while watching a video, is there's a little window during the day when his mom isn't around to make him his chicken tendies. And I wish I were making this up. Actually, I don't wish I were making this up. I'm so glad. I have to unplug this again, Tim. I'm so glad that I'm not making this up. Let me check my other connection. That might be an issue. I'm so glad I'm not making this up, because he actually just outright admitted on stream that most of the time his mom is heating him up chicken tendies while he's sitting in his room streaming for 10 hours a day. Right. Making literally millions of dollars a year. Okay. While also being a literal communist, a self-avowed communist. So there you go. As is typical for communist types. Jeez, really? Once again, I'm getting a little bit of a... This might be an issue. I have a little bit of a dead spot right at the front. Clean it out a little bit. Anyway. So, it's almost hilariously stereotypical. Okay. Okay, better. It is a digital problem. It's in the connection. It's not in the hardware. I don't know why or what's going on here, but it may be in the cord. It's also possible. Oh, this is gonna get weird. Oh, geez, this is getting weird. Repair really quick. Jesus. Oops. Terrible mistake. Crap. Anyway. Okay. Darn it. Anyway, that's the YouTube dramedy of the time being. I've been enjoying it a great deal, and it's been it's a fun little distraction, I suppose. I apologize. Oops. Wasn't ready for that.
Now shut up. Shut up. Shut up!
This is getting creepy. I'm Is this about the death of the Forest King? I mean, it's in the area, so... Oops. Anyway. So that's one of the fun internet absurdities that has crossed my computer today. So I'll like I said, afterwards I'll put a few videos of the whole shebang, all of the various parts that were involved in this drama. I'll put in the description because it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun following this nonsense. So hope you have as much fun with it as I did. Right. The other internet drama. I'm gonna avoid talking about the big internet drama we all might know of as long as we can.
Speculation. Perhaps these are raw materials from the structure itself.
It's close.
Weapons, eh? Prepare energy. Close range firing mode. Maximum output.
9S.
Fire.
Oh. That's... Oh, no, Kylie, I'm uninvolved in all this. No, I don't... I neither do this, nor am I victimized by it.
Kill me. Do it. Kill me. Do it. Kill me, coward. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me.
Okay, so he's getting a little bloodthirsty here. Yeah, Kylie, not involving me. I've like I said, on the very, very rare occasions I actually react to content, I actually react to it, at least to some degree, and comment on it. It's select unit to monitor. Yeah, 9S is the only option, so let's do it. Unit 9S has destroyed the core of a resource recovery unit. He has obtained an authorization key in the process, but I'm concerned with his worsening psychological state. Care should be taken to prevent Unit 9S from coming into contact with Unit A2. Affirmative. Likewise, this pod will take care to see that Unit A2 avoids contact with Unit 9S. Okay, then. Yeah.
Alert. Abnormality detected in vitals of Unit 9S. Proposal. Commence data overhaul immediately.
Pod, search for the other structural units. I need to find those authorization keys and destroy the tower.
Alert. Combat inadvisable during abnormal vital conditions.
It's fine. Run the search.
You say so. Crap. Oops.
Scanning. Actively operating enemy large structural unit detected in accessible location. Marking location on map.
Got him. Alright. Anyway. Onward, I suppose. What's the best transport to go to? Village, I guess. Yeah, it's right there. Where's the next objective? It's the shore. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, alright, let's go to the village. Anyway. So, yeah, the drama is just about basically Twitch streamers that are not really producing content, but just sort of watching YouTube videos with their audiences, and that counts as content, kind of. and YouTubers are making fun of them for it. And I mean, if we want to be a little less charitable, there were YouTubers complaining about it. Mostly making fun of it, though, rather than actually like. Obviously, at least I don't think really anybody is pressing legal action against them, against Twitch streamers for doing this sort of thing, or anything like that. Not that I know of. It's more that Jay, at least, is just taking the piss, just mercilessly making fun of Hassan for all this, for being so uncreative. Right. Oh wait. Down here. There we go. Another thing I was seeing is something that I have a little background knowledge of, and it's another online figure, I suppose. I would call him an online figure. It was more of a public intellectual type who is being as completely stupid as usual. And that is Robert Reich. So Robert Reich is a sort of what I would call a cathedral economist. He's an economist in service of every part of the sort of political establishment in the U.S. Basically, everything about the government that everybody hates, he's in support of it. Just that I don't like. He's been a trusted advisor to every White House, both Republican and Democrat, since like the first Bush administration, except for the Trump White House.
Hello. This is the Resource Recovery Unit. Now activating defense mode.
How pleasant. Very pleasantly informing me that I'm about to have to fight. In any case, he's making the usual, really, unbelievably, if I didn't know any better, I would say uneducatedly dumb takes. But no, he actually does know better, because I actually know that he's incredibly well educated in the stuff that he talks about. He's just either lying or intentionally manipulating information. So he's talking about the most recent tweet of his that I saw that was quite ridiculous. Was talking about how those who decline the COOF V word. I don't know how much of this I can say on stream. The vaccine for the COOF. People who decline to take the vaccine are recklessly, or his words specifically,
There's something written here too.
are. What's this?
It reads Soulbox.
Interesting. I wonder if there's also a connection here to the humans in the project to resurrect them. Anyway, we'll see. In any case, right? He said that those who decline to take the vaccine are his words, quote, recklessly endangering others, and that is there is no individual right to recklessly put others in danger. Okay, so a couple of things, both about legal theory and about ethical theory, that he's getting gravely wrong. First of all, what if I told you there is an inalienable right to recklessly endanger someone? And this goes to most of the legal theory arguments that Reich himself has put forward and has defended in various places. Reckless endangerment is distinctly different from reckless tort than a reckless tort. So the difference here primarily. So reckless behavior. A lot of this comes down to
No enemies?
how we distinguish the degree of fault for a given action. Recklessness is well, okay. So there are layers of fault for any given action, but typically this is in terms of there are degrees of fault for wrongdoing or for harm, right, for tort. Recklessness in this case is a feature of tort law. Crap. I'm sorry. Let's try again. In particular, for behavior to be reckless, what that means is that okay, so there are layers, right? So first is accidental, which implies no moral or legal fault. Accidental harm is when one had no way of knowing that one's actions would be harmful in the relevant sense. Okay, I can't do that. Crap. And through no fault of one's own actions, harm was done anyway. Through unforeseeable circumstances, right, is generally the idea. There we go.
Oh, I get it. I have to break the system protection before I can reach the core. Huh. So that's how it works.
Hacky time, then. So accidental harm has no fault involved.
We have a special present for you. A token of appreciation as a reward.
Now they're just messing with us.
Next up, we have
Wonderful to
negligence.
see your interest in the things of this world. The collection you've amassed has earned you a special present.
Right, so it goes accidental. Obtained a weapon. Cool.
Look at all the machine life forms you've murdered. You've recovered an army's worth of corpses. We have just the thing for someone like you.
Come on, really? All right. So after accidental comes negligent, which is when you have hold on, sorry. When you could have known, but you didn't know that your actions would cause harm, that you would be perpetrating a tort, in other words. So if you could have known but didn't, right, there is typically very little fault considered under negligence. But there is some fault.
Hack into all blocking devices.
Then, after negligence, the next most assignable blame, right, comes to recklessness. Or sorry, accidental. No, it goes accidental, negligent, reckless, then knowing, then intentional. Reckless is when one should have known, not just could have, but should have been able to know that harm would be caused, but did not do due diligence to either mitigate that harm or determine whether that harm would occur. Finally, not finally. Next, we would have so reckless and then knowing. You know that particular harm will occur from your actions, but you do the thing anyway. it is not your intent. This can be justified, right, in terms of, say, the principle of double effect, things like that. But it is a harm that is knowingly done, right? So we use the term knowingly. Ow. In other words, you know that the consequence will be harmful, but you do the thing anyway for whatever reason. Usually a good reason, right? Typically this is a justified reason, or a reason that you at least could try to justify. Go. Stop. There we go. Wait, I don't need to go that way. It's a trap. Oh, crap, I really should have gone that other way. I'm gonna die. Alright, I'm gonna lose this. Probably. Oh, jeez. Ah, come on. Ah, okay. That explains. So after knowing, the next level of harm, the next level of tortious harm is intentional. That's where your intent is to cause the harm that you cause. Right? It's not just incidental to the action that you were planning. It is actually your intent to do it. Your intention is to do the thing that harms somebody. And this is the most fault for an action. This is the most fault that you can have for an action. For a tortious action, at least. Action which is harmful. So, with each stage of this, the fault increases, right? However, you'll notice that with each stage, right, each level of fault, of wrongdoing, of tortious harm, the action is not simply enough, right? It's not enough that you act recklessly. Right? But in order for it to be a reckless tort, something that is legally actionable and morally wrong, it's not merely that you know that, or to take the recklessness case, right? It's not merely that you know there could be danger and that you do the act anyway, right? All right, there could be danger of harm and you do the act anyway. In order for it to actually be wrong, and for it to be a legally actionable, especially, it needs to actually harm somebody. There needs to be actual assignable harm for it to be actionable, legally actionable. It's not enough to say, you are recklessly endangering someone. In other words, your actions could harm someone because you didn't take significant due precautions or whatever. But rather, it has to be that your actions did harm someone, in which case you would be at fault for it, partially at fault for it. This is a... Ooh, jeez. There we go. This is a key aspect to... oh, hey. Our facility processes and computerizes resources sent by resource recovery units for use in its launch device. Launch device. Troubling. Made up of 256 strata, can filter and compress information with a turbidity of less than 2300 and have it recorded to the payload in approximately 27 minutes, 32 seconds. Details regarding routes required for the digestion of androids are recorded separately. The allowed diversity learning error rate is 7.21%. Our system outline.
That huge structure is some kind of launch platform. A structure that size could probably shoot something into space pretty easily. Oh. So this is some kind of cannon aimed at the human server on the moon?
Insufficient data. Cannot confirm or deny.
Damn it.
Keep trying this. Oops. That's not right. In any case, right, so this is sometimes not...
Controls unlocked.
Yes, thank you.
Proposal. Investigate the next area.
This is sometimes not terribly clear just from that description, so I typically, if I teach this, I give a set of examples. I'll teach this in ethics. So a set of examples. Suppose that you ran over your neighbor's bicycle. You have a kid neighbor, and you ran over his bicycle. You could have done so accidentally. You could have done so negligently. You could have done so recklessly. You could have done so knowingly, or you could have done so intentionally. You ran over your neighbor's bicycle accidentally.
On this floor.
Yeah. And I hack into all of them, right?
The circumstance there would be that you did not, and realistically could not have known that the bicycle was there. Right? For example, you didn't know you had a neighbor kit, for example. Or if you did, then you checked behind your car to see if the bicycle was there. Jeez. A lot of pew-pews. But you didn't see it, or removed it there after you checked, or something like that. Right? You have reasonable expectation that there is no bicycle behind your car for you to run over as you pull out of the driveway. Right? Oh, jeez. I'm gonna screw this one up. There we go. Still having problems with my forward tilt. There we go. Crap. Anyway, so if you ran over the bicycle negligently, that means that you could have known, right? And but you didn't, right? So what this means is, so if you negligently ran over your neighbor's bicycle, it means that you didn't check behind your car, but you had no good reason to check, right? You had no real good reason to think that your neighbor left his bicycle out. It's not something that usually ordinarily happens, but he happened to leave it in your driveway, and you didn't check behind your car to see if he did. So you backed out of your driveway, going to work, and oh no, you have run over your neighbor's bicycle. This is slightly more fault is involved here, but only slightly. Because you could have known better, right? And you didn't. Right? You didn't do your, you didn't check, but you could have. Right? There we go. But because you could have known, there is some fault involved. Then there is recklessness, where you know there is a risk, and you know you should have checked, or you know that you that this is a situation that can happen, right? In other words, yeah, your neighbor kid often leaves his bicycle out behind your car, but you didn't really think to check because you were in a hurry, for example, or whatever. This is a case of recklessness, reckless tort, right? Because first of all, you've ran over his bicycle. But the reason you did it was because you didn't know any better, but you should have known, right? You should have checked. And you know you should have checked. Based on the information available, you had every reason to check if there was a bicycle behind your car before you backed out of the driveway, right? So this is recklessness. Then, a step up further, you have knowing, which is a little bit more fault involved. This is where you know that backing out of your driveway will mean, darn it, that backing out of your driveway will mean running over your neighbor's bicycle, but you do it anyway. It's not your intention, but, you know, if you delay any further, if you go out to move it, you're going to be late for work, and you can't be late for work again or you'll get fired. So you make the decision, I'm going to back out of the driveway, and it's going to run over the neighbor's bike, but that's okay, I'll just apologize to him tomorrow. Sin and presumption aside, what you've done is you've knowingly but not intentionally run over his bicycle. Then you have intentionally, which is the highest degree of fault, where you not only know that the result of your action will be to run over his bicycle, but that you intend to run over his bicycle. That is the whole purpose, darn it. Here we go again. That is the whole purpose of your action, is to run over your neighbor's bicycle. Right? So maybe you decide that you're going to teach this kid a lesson, not to leave his bicycle out in the neighbor's driveways, right? Okay, maybe that's justifiable, but it was your intention. What is that? That's weird. But it certainly was your intention, darn it. It was your intention to run over the bicycle, right? That was the point. That was why you backed your car up. It wasn't just, I need to get to work in time. Maybe in that case you had an alternative. You could have waited. You could have gotten out and moved it, but you chose not to in order to do something, right? It was your intent to run over the bicycle. Right? Running over the bicycle was why you, darn it, was why you backed up the car in the first place. Owie. So what Reich is saying is that those who choose not to take the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, are doing so recklessly. So two things are involved there. One, knowing that harm is involved, or knowing that there is a significant risk of harm. So, and then actual harm done. Let's treat the second one of those first because it's the simpler to sort of knock down. Then we'll go to the other one, which is more complicated, and it's, I think, a lot more typical of his line of thought, and it's a lot more insidious. Darn it! I'm not gonna make this again. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. I can do this. I swear I can do this. Just give me enough time and I can do it. We're gonna be here all night, but that's fine. I may have to just stop talking after a little while and just try and do this, really hunker down and do it, but we'll see. Anyway, so the second requirement for tortious harm, for reckless tortious harm, a reckless tort, if you will, is that actual assignable harm has been done. If no harm was done, then there is no tort. Therefore, there was no actionable recklessness. Okay, working on it. I'm getting... okay. So close. Close. Okay. Okay, got it. That was close. Alright. So, first of all, in order for something to be a negligent tort, it must have been actually harmful. It must have actually harmed somebody. There must have been a tort, in other words, in legal terms. If there is no tort, then there is no assignable harm done, and therefore there is no blame. There's no blame to be had. Again, technically speaking, and ethically, right? Both ethically and legally, there is no harm to be done. There is no harm done, therefore there is no tort, therefore there is no fault. There's no blame.
Hypothesis. This area should be investigated in order to meet the mission objective.
Working on it. Where? Come on. Let's go back up, I guess. Oh, down? Are we going down? This is weird. No, this isn't what I wanted. Anyway, let's try this again. So that part is quite simple and straightforward, right? Declining to take the vaccine can only be tortious harm. It can only actually harm somebody if, one, doing so would likely prevent the harm done, and not doing so, right, not acting, is not only the the but-for cause, right? It would have happened but for the taking the vaccine, but it has to be the direct and immediate cause, right? The direct cause. So not taking the vaccine is the actual cause, direct cause of harming somebody else. And this is clearly not the case, because the direct cause of harming somebody else is, if you do so, spreading the coof to them. This is a very different thing than taking or not taking a vaccine. So, at most, not taking the vaccine is a maybe we can say an aggravating factor, right? It is it's what makes the action of spreading a disease. It's what makes it negligent or reckless, as the case might be. Whichever. Is this right?
Analysis.
No.
Access to elevator control system blocked by external factor.
Where the heck am I supposed to go to find this? Is that it? Down there? No. I already got that one. Anyway. So the assignability of the harm done is also questionable, because there is no harm done if one does not contract and then spread the coof, which is for most people not going to be the case, right? Particularly if you've if you already have had it or had natural immunity or take other precautions, or just by complete sheer coincidence don't happen to get it, and if you do get it, don't happen to spread it. Right? In any of those cases, there's no tort, right? So therefore, there is no recklessness. So most people who decline the vaccine are not recklessly endangering other people. Again, simply by legal and ethical definition. So Reich's wrong there. Right? Now, the other aspect of this, right? The other thing that makes an act reckless, right? Even assuming that you do harm somebody. Let's see what this is. This seems like a dead end, but that seems like it might be important there. Oh, geez. Okay, that was awful. Anyway, even assuming you do recklessly harm somebody, even if you do harm somebody by not taking the vaccine, right? If we can say that that's a direct cause, right? Balls. If we can say that that's a direct cause, right? Which again is questionable at best. Right, that aside, if that is the case, even if that's the case, you need to then assume a lot of other things as well, which is very telling about the kinds of assumptions that that Reich and a lot of people. Oh, Jesus, really? Wasn't paying attention. That Reich and a lot of people who follow the same line of thought, the kinds of assumptions that they make about the people who they disagree with, politically, academically, etc. Primarily, really. You know what? I haven't tried mouse and keyboard for this. That's not it. Ooh, this is weird. What are the... I don't even know the controls here. Oh. There it is. It's shift. That's awful. This is going to be disastrous. No, it's not a good move. Nope, nope. Okay, never mind. Just kidding. Not doing that. Jeez. Right. So anyway, controller it is. So there are a couple of assumptions in play, right? One is that the harm of the disease, the guaranteed harm of the disease, the fact that, or the assumption, I should say, that people who decline to take the vaccine share that assumption about the danger of the disease, and also that the people who because remember, recklessness is about intent. It's about intent and knowledge, right? So it's a here we go. Okay. So the following details in the final stages of Project Yora. Note this document has been marked SS confidentiality and should not be disclosed to any Yora personnel, including the bunker commander. Well then. Each Yora unit is equipped with a black box, an item created by reusing the core of a machine life form. Oh. That actually makes a lot of sense. As such, it could be said that the consciousnesses of Yora units and machine life forms share the same structure. Said black boxes were installed after determining that it would be inhumane to install standard AI in androids that are ultimately destined for disposal. For the record, malfunctioning black boxes have caused some Yora units to turn hostile.
The Yora black box circuitry. It's made from cores from the machines? That's... No. That can't be true.
Can. Anyway, so Reich's assumption here would have to be that...
Elevator controls unlocked. Proposal. Investigate the next area.
Right, it would have to be that that people who decline the vaccine are aware of the dangers, knowingly believe that, and have the same kind of awareness of both the dangers and the or have the same beliefs about the dangers of the disease and the efficaciousness of the vaccine as Reich does, and that despite that belief, they are acting in a reckless manner, in a way that they know could harm people. In other words, he is saying that people believe the same things that he does, which is obviously false, and we all know this, but that based on those same beliefs, they have chosen evil. Right? That's his assumption here, in saying that there is reckless endangerment, and that he's also assuming that his risk assessment is the solely correct one for assuming that there is reckless harm, not just non-tortious, non-enforceable, non-actionable endangerment. So, there's Robert Reich making his usual course of many unethical, poorly thought out errors. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Kylie says that the school is. I'm gonna correct you here. Is choosing to go back to wearing masks because of the increase in cases, of course, and the plummeting of deaths and hospitalizations. But okay. But I'm hoping the mask mandate lifts before school starts. Yeah. No kidding. It, as I've gone over before, it greatly impacts my ability to actually teach effectively. Not nearly as much as hybrid format does, but I can minimally manage to actually to manage a classroom, if you will. If I and the students are wearing masks, I absolutely cannot manage a classroom wearing a mask while trying to communicate via Zoom. That is an impossibility. and it was absolutely prohibitive to my ability to actually teach a class. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Hopefully, saner heads prevail, and also hopefully, I don't know. Maybe there will be enough legal challenges to the whole debacle. We are in Florida, so there is some hope of that. Hopefully, there are enough challenges to the nonsense that it won't, that it will, like you said, be lifted before classes actually start. Or the glory of extinct mankind. Cheers. That's interesting. I'm embodied. Yeah, that's real weird. I'm embodied in the hacking verse.
What's going on here? My body. Those are my memories. But why?
Interesting. Is that 2B? And a bunch of dead androids? Yeah, that's 2B. And a bunch of dead androids. Are those my dead bodies? Those hard dead bodies?
That's 2B's data. I know these are just memories. But still. No, don't. Don't do this. Damn it, stop! Stay the hell out of my goddamn memories! These belong to me and me alone! Get away from them!
I'm really hoping that restoring the soldier will actually help. And it won't turn on me, but... Jesus, okay, yeah, okay, don't resurrect the corrupted corpses. Got it. Really, all the way back here. Please tell me I don't have to redo all of this. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. All right, well, here we go. Sorry, everyone. It was only 20 minutes. At least now I vaguely know what I need to do, and I can just kind of talk through most of it. Anyway, yeah. Also, again, anyone who has been looking at or perusing literally any data, any related data, can have moral certainty, to use the precise technical language, can have moral certainty that that masks are entirely ineffective and do functionally nothing. So again, it's theater, as again we all know, and it's counterproductive theater, as most of these things tend to be.
Hello. This is the
Alright.
resource.
I know, thank you. Yeah, I know, we're gonna have to fight. I get it. Stop trying to ram me. There we go. Really? Whoops. There we go. There.
There's something written here, too.
It reads Soulbox.
So that's probably about the black boxes. Maybe? I don't know. Could still be about the whole Project Yora thing. I wonder if there's any point in here that I can quick save or whatever. I'll try it a couple of times as I go through. Anyway. Yeah, I was apparently I was naive enough to think that we were out of the worst of it. But looking at Europe right now, in Australia, it's getting bad up there.
No.
Like again, looking at for example, France is incredibly bad. They are implementing basically two-tiered citizen status and vaccine passports for basically everything, including medical treatment and groceries. So you can't get medical treatment or groceries if you're not vaccinated, unless you have them delivered to you. Like there are like no exceptions to leaving your house in France currently. Or not, I don't know if currently, but coming up. Things like that. Which is grievously disturbing.
I have to break the system protection before I can reach the core.
Then you have Australia and New Zealand, which are, and some parts of the UK, which are locking down protesters. And by locking down, I mean they are arresting. They are mass arresting protesters of the lockdown policies.
Messing with us.
Which is, again, especially to an American, is incredibly heinous. It should realistically be heinous to anybody, of course. It's so disturbing. So disturbing. Anyway, it's a here they come. Okay. Okay. Yeah, like I said, Australia and New Zealand are, like I said, locking up, are mass arresting protesters. And so are parts of the UK. But I'm at least pleased to see that there are still protesters despite that.
Proposal. Hack into all blocking devices.
It's a global problem, really. I will say, thankfully, Florida is one of the most sane places in the entire world, and it's still not quite sane. I mean, most of Florida is sane. Like, if I go out and if I go around anywhere, everyone's been more or less back to normal for months, a year now, even. Except for those tiny islands of madness, which are university campuses, even private university campuses, which is very disappointing. Very disappointing. Ah, crap. No, is this the one I got stuck on forever last time? I know how to do it, basically, now, for the sequence. Rally says, nah, we're already too insane and far more insanity to really stick. Yeah, I mean, the Florida Man joke is not a joke. We are absolute goddamn crazy people, and thank God. It's, If I had to live amongst the population of any state, I would love to live around even the most stereotypical of Florida men. Of course, being one of the most stereotypical of Florida men. For example, I mean, I don't do meth or anything that I guess you're typical, stereotypical Florida man does, but I did train alligators for a few years. I have ridden a manatee.
Some kind of launch platform. A structure that size could probably shoot something into space pretty easily. Oh. So this is some kind of cannon aimed at the human server on the moon?
Insufficient data. Cannot confirm or deny.
Damn it.
But yeah, I've ridden a manatee. I have... like I said, I trained alligators for a few years. That was a lot of fun. Not as much of a gun nut as I maybe should be, given that I'm in Florida, but whatever. There's always time. I've ridden a manatee, but not a horse, if that gives you any Florida man perspective. Jeez. For another example, my footwear options, my footwear of choice. My informal footwear are sandals, of course. Darn. My formal footwear are boots, or black leather boots. What the rest of the country would call cowboy boots. But people around here, they're just boots. They're double H, buckled, or not buckled, but that ring with the leather straps, kind of boots. Very nice polished leather and all that. They work well as formal wear. It's what you wear to church, with a suit, of course. Not necessarily to church, but that's you wear them with a suit. Works perfectly well. No problem at all. Ah, crap! Didn't see that coming. Okay. I have not, for another example though, I've not deflected a cop's taser with a plastic lightsaber, but someone in my town did. In our Walmart parking lot, as it happens. So I'm very close by to that sort of shenanigan. Really? Fingers slipped. Or the controller slipped. I don't know which to blame at this point. Whatever. Alright, come on now. Let's do the thing. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people up north mostly are convinced that like Florida is some kind of disease epicenter, which of course is kind of nonsense. We are, I think, currently the 41st state nationally, 41st ranked in age-adjusted death rate from the COOF. 41 out of 50. So I don't think it's too bad, really. I think we're doing just fine. But yeah, it's a lot of it just comes from people who don't trust Florida and don't trust our kinds of cultural solutions to problems. And by our, of course, I mean outside the big urban centers, outside of Orlampa and Miami. Because Orlampa and Miami are basically just New York. Progress. Crap. Alright, I can do this. Alright. Okay, I've gotten enough futile practice at these. The black box stuff, cool, neat.
The
Chromatic.
black box circuitry. It's made from cores from the machines? No, that can't be true.
Might be. Alright, let me see if I can save here. Nope. Here we go again. Okay. Maybe I can save inside here? I doubt it, but we'll see. I'd love to, so this doesn't happen again. It only took 15 minutes this time, instead of 20. Can I? Can I save? No. Just go. Let's go real fast.
What's going on here? My body. Those are my memories. But why?
See this again, yeah? We already saw it. I think we can skip.
That's 2B's data. Stay the hell out of my goddamn memories! These belong to me and me alone!
Close one.
Get away from them!
Ooh, jeez. Okay. Ugh. Just out DPS it. That's all you gotta do. It's not. Is it doing anything?
They're mine! My memories! You hear me? Ah! Ah!
Oh. Well, this kind of mirrors what we saw at the end of that previous story. Well, that turned into a heck of an evil laugh. Man.
This is the current status of Unit 9S?
Affirmative. His mental state has become dangerously unstable. Action must be taken immediately.
I noticed something while providing support to A2. Enemy machine lifeforms have begun sharing data with each other.
We'd better look into that.
I'll share the data with you, so see what you can find out.
Affirmative. I also have a separate report about 9S.
What is it?
I'll share the data. His psychological state has deteriorated to a grave level.
We'd better handle that quickly, too.
Agreed. Not sure what we should do, however.
Agreed. Proposal. Rest, combined with data checking and maintenance.
Agreed. I will make the suggestion immediately.
I still think that the pods are kind of the main characters. Oh, jeez.
Where's the next resource recovery unit?
Alert. NFCS failure. Speculation. Failure caused by intense combat and lack of maintenance.
Near field controls are down? Great.
Proposal. Overhaul system at resistance camp.
I don't have that kind of time.
Alert. Entering battle without a functioning sword constitutes an unacceptable risk. Unit 9S should have Devila initiate repairs at the resistance camp.
Shit.
Okay, well, we probably should do that, shouldn't we? Seems, geez. Seems reasonable. Okay. Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's real glitchy. Alright, yeah. Yeah, the super long health bar is troubling. Seems glitchity.
Oh dear. What happened to you?
Wounded in battle. NFCS not functioning.
I'm amazed you were even able to drag yourself here. This is gonna take a bit, so
And it
just hang
teleported.
tight. This is terrible. Your motor cortex is full of holes. I can't believe you even managed to walk here. Alright, you're all good.
It's a proper, actual healer.
9S,
Heal bot,
I need
so to
you to
speak.
promise me something. Don't die alone.
Aw.
I don't think 2B would want that either.
I know.
Glad you made it back safely. Yeah. Okay, well. Now what? Guess we just go, yeah? I mean, I should probably quick save.
Pod. Mark the next resource recovery unit on the map.
Oh, or go.
Affirmative.
Works too. Not showing it, is it? Oh, maybe it is. Just gonna check the actual map. Hold on. Seems to be the amusement park. Oh, in what's her name's chamber. That's weird. But okay, Attraction Square it is. All right. Yeah, let's go for it. Anyway, so speaking of insanity, and networks, and the internet, and current events, and YouTube drama, and all of that stuff, I'm sure, I am not sure, but I suppose many of you have heard the news about the legendary, infamous Chris Chan. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with him at all, that's fine. Save yourself. Please, save yourself. He's a very crazy internet personality. If you are curious as to this guy, if you're not sure about what recently happened that put him in the news, I won't go into details because it is disturbing and weird. So, suffice it to say that he was recently arrested for the kind of thing that should have been relatively predictable to anyone who has been more or less following his story for the past, I don't know, 12 or 13 years, which is how long he's been a sort of internet weird micro-celebrity. Not even micro-celebrity, he's just well-known on the weird parts of the internet. In any case, oh jeez. In any case, he's a very strange fellow. He's also kind of a tragic figure, because a lot of his sort of weird quirks are largely a result of incessant and unceasing bullying on the internet, which is really what the internet's for, I suppose. Oh, there's the steam. There's the thing. I see it vaguely. There's nothing. Oh, there it is. Oops. Wasn't paying attention. In any case, right, so, it's, not that surprising to see that, you know, that he's been accused and arrested. So, Kylie, Chris Chan is a, like I said, a sort of weird pop culture figure on the internet. He's been around for a very long time, since like 2006, the very early days of internet culture. And ostensibly he's a comic artist, but his comics are notoriously bad. To the point where he became kind of a running joke online for years and years. He was kind of his existence on the internet was kind of a joke, and a lot of what he did. So a lot of people kind of messed with him, almost as a kind of joke, and a lot of it really took its toll on him. He was already. I guess I would say, according to himself, he's highly functional autistic, and so he was already had trouble with social cues and all that comes with that. Some of the so his I don't know where to begin with telling the history of Chris Chan. There is a link already in the description about him. Sort of an historical breakdown of kind of the history of Christian's presence on the internet. That's already in the description. He also did a recent interview, relatively recent interview, the last couple of years. I don't know, 2-3 years ago with Count Dankula, if you've heard of him. He was the guy with the Nazi pug. And he's a strange fellow, very strange. So his recent actions are in line with a lot of the other cringe that he has produced, but in a all the more disturbing and kind of criminal way. Not kind of criminal, explicitly criminal. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it. Well, I say all this to introduce a point that I saw made very, very well online. Erica, you're asking why I'm talking about him. Partially because, like I said, I almost have to be sympathetic because of, he kind of put himself out there on the internet and was horrifically maltreated, or mistreated, I should say. And to the point where it basically drove him crazy, and he started to become unhinged in very dangerous ways. But this brings me to
This is the Resource Recovery Unit.
well, I'm getting to the
Now
philosophical
activating
content.
defense mode.
Over and over.
Nines is going crazy. He would kill a robot zombie. Anyway, the philosophical point I was wanting to make, right, is that there's a couple of points I want to make. One is something that I saw said by
That language again.
oh, here, let's see.
Godbox.
Godbox.
Huh? What are these machines doing talking about gods?
Speaking of, I suppose, this was a quote from a page and a producer in a channel, a YouTube channel and thing called the Classical Theist. He says, so it should be obvious by now that throwing off the shackles of Christianity does not culminate in the Giga-Chad, Ubermensch, Hyperborean warrior, or whatever cringe archetype you want. It culminates in Christian. So the point of this, the point he was making, is that kind of strange archetypal figure of the tortured, the strange disquieted person who is then tortured into madness and destruction, is.
Pod.
Oh,
why
hi.
did the machines attack Pascal's village? Aren't they all the same?
Unknown.
Well, aren't you helpful?
Proposal. Unit A2 should gather further data on the current state of machine life.
It's weird.
Huh?
We've got some very exciting news for everyone today.
Give me a moment. This is interesting.
There's only one lock left to remove from the tower subtower. And in order to regain your faithful patrons, whoever dismantles the final subunit will earn a special prize. Good luck!
This is really strange.
The hell was that?
Large structural unit of machine life form origin activated to the east.
A large what now? What the heck is going on around here?
Unknown.
Well, let's go check out this large structural unit.
Right, so let's also change out our chipsets. Chipset B, customize. have two more. I probably can't make anything out of that. All right. All right, that'll be fine. Anyway, so philosophical content, right? Is that, and this is oddly almost per the predictions of somebody like Friedrich Nietzsche. Oh, I forgot I don't have auto pickup. Oh, geez. All right, well, it's fine. That a large part of post-Christian society would be what we today would call, in the technical sense, cringe. Right? That a large portion of post-Christian society, even in Nietzsche's vision, would not be the Übermensch. Because the Übermensch has as its counterpart the Untermensch, the underman. The, again, and to put it in sort of internet parlance, the cringe lord. Right? The disturbed and isolated and alone individual. And we see this very much manifest. And this is far more so the prediction of Christian culture, all the more so than so Christian philosophers make this assumption far more so even than atheists would, but we see it even among atheists, right? That they know and admit that a great deal of atheistic society or post-Christian society is ultimately going to turn out to be this kind of isolated, self-compartmentalized, self-destructive. I mean, for lack of a better term, I guess I might say, weirdo. That a lot of that without the kind of metaphysical and even social connections that we get from Christianity, society sort of can devolve quite easily into a morass of destabilized people without a kind of solid basis in reality, in the transcendent, in all of that, right? And so with that comes a kind of not just the... And I mean, okay, so first of all, I don't want to imply that this includes things like his mental health problems, right? Like, neurological problems are probably not, at least not primarily, philosophical in origin. So that's ruled out. However, you can be a high-functioning autistic without going into the depths of absurdist nonsense that we see with people like Chris Chan. And we see, again, very commonly in culture, especially online culture, but culture in general today. Which way is the amusement park? It's this way, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, come on. And it really, it sort of, I guess you might, like, one way of putting it is it spits in the face of the predictions of those who thought in sort of ages past that, like I said, the elimination of Christianity would result in a kind of age of enlightenment, right? This was the Enlightenment myth. This was the the conflict thesis writ large, that without the restrictions of Christianity, society would be able to evolve past that. And all of these really common errors that we see from the Enlightenment, and now more recently with sort of new atheist types. Going back a little further to people like Bertrand Russell, more recently the new atheists of the sort of early to like mid to late noughties, like the Dawkins, Hitchens, Dennett types. But that without an anchor in something transcendent, you get this kind of person cut free and loose and just sort of twisting in the wind, who's easily manipulated and ultimately...
Alert.
Oops.
Combat activity.
Come on.
An unacceptable strain on your body.
Shut up!
Negative. The support unit is assigned to your Unit 9S. As such, being concerned for said unit's well-being is a requirement.
Whatever.
These are much more powerful blasts. I didn't realize I did that. Whip. Anyway, but that cut off from the transcendent, right? Our ability to navigate the world is, oh boy, is severely challenged to the point where we don't really see our place in society so much anymore, and that can have grievous impacts on the way we navigate the world, right? Even just as distinct from our reactions to particular things, it can be as systematic as our reactions to other people in general, and that's why I think there's a lot of this this extreme emotive reactivity to the kind of okay, so the like online bullying campaigns and such, right? We've always had bullying, but they haven't been nearly as pervasive, right? Bullying hasn't been as systematic or as widespread as you get through through the internet, right? In part, that's just because of the technology, obviously, right? Because if you can nowadays, you can systematically bully somebody. And it can become a kind of hobby for a million people at once to bully someone. That couldn't have happened in, I don't know, the 1950s. When bullying was a big problem, but it was a problem on the smaller, sort of private scale. Someone could be terribly bullied in high school, but then they leave their hometown, or they don't. But even if they don't, it becomes a kind of... It fades off into the past, and they can move social circles, and they can assert themselves, right? Even if it's just a matter of, putting a stop to the bullying, either by one's own actions or by authority figures or whatever. That can easily be done prior to this technology, and so part of it, yes, is the technology, right? Obviously, it makes bullying like this easier. But why is it a cultural phenomenon? Why is it something that millions of people, literally in the case of somebody like Chris Chan, and in the case of a lot of people who are bullied online, right? We get these mobs of people, in a lot of cases, like I said, literal millions of people, who make it their pastime to harass people. To harass certain people because it's entertaining, right? It's kind of entertainment to a lot of people. And in a lot of cases, it can be incredibly destructive. And we might have had, again, making fun of people with abnormalities and people who were a little bit weird or whatever the case might be in the past. We certainly did. But even now, where we apparently, right, we're told we have a significantly greater awareness of being considerate of people who are not normal like we are, who are different from us, who the neuroatypical, if you will. to use a polite term. Even though we're taught more and more tolerance for difference, we also, I think, find ourselves more and more likely to systematically find entertainment in the hurt feelings, if nothing else, of others. And this is in part due to a kind of, I don't know, cultural malaise, I would say, really. In large part due to the disillusion of the part of our culture that ideally holds it together, which is a link to the transcendent, Christianity. Precisely speaking, I would say Christianity, but really any kind of religious structure that aligns the culture to the transcendent, to that which is above itself. And now, this is why, also worth noting, that a lot of atheistic materialists will particularly on the more socially collectivist side, let's say. Those who, you find this on the left and broad and the pseudo right at least. People who follow people like Daniel Weber, Max Weber, who think that we can find a kind of transcendent meaning in society as such, right? But the problem is that society is itself a kind of human function. That if we don't have something that transcends even that, society becomes the same kind of problem as the individual with no transcendent other, no transcendent greater reference to the transcendent, let's say. And so if a society itself becomes disconnected from the transcendent to the extent that ours pretty much has, right, then our social interactions and our social phenomena disintegrate to the point where our social actions, our social interactions, our pastimes, and all that become likewise disconnected from the transcendent. They become inward turning. They become self-destructive. They become malicious, really, if we're, again, talking precisely in this term, in cases like this, at least. So I think that this is just an artifact of the lack of any kind of transcendence or lack of reference to the transcendent in our cultural makeup and our individual makeup as well. I'll also add that, we have the maybe more less high-minded sounding problem, but certainly no less of a real problem of being disconnected from transcendentality. I think would be the term, I suppose, which leads to a breakdown of our ethics as well. And we see that in both the actions of Christian, that we see, got him arrested, for example. Which, again, if you don't know, don't ask, because again, like I said, it's weird and disturbing. But also in the people who picked on him incessantly and systematically over the course of a decade and a half. Good night, Kylie. Thanks for stopping by. See you Thursday. Good to have you. But yeah, I think that this is a real kind of systematic problem that it was I honestly say was difficult to see coming. Right, the particular consequences of an atheistic culture or post-Christian culture were probably not obvious from the outset. I don't know if they could have been obvious from the outset. But here they are. come on. Oh, okay. There we go. That was close. Anyway, so I promised I had a point to that, and I wasn't just, talking about Christian purely because he's in the news. Because again, I don't want to talk about the specifics because again, no thank you. But I think what it can tell us about our culture, about the way we interact with reality, the way we interact with each other, that is actually pretty meaningful and significant. That we kind of see this, or can see this, as a result of the kind of culture that we've built, and that's not a very good thing. To say, I mean, maybe to understate. I could probably say that a bit more strongly, but Well, this is an interesting, what looks like boss arena. Hello.
Model 210.
Oh no.
Operator?
Oh no. Oh no, waifu. Oh, hi waifu. That's a lot of guns. That's not what I wanted.
Oh no. So this operator model is...
Affirmative. Operator 210. Volunteered to undergo Type B equipment transition during previous descent. Sent to front lines as Unit 21B. Recorded as missing in action 4 hours later.
No.
Okay. That's not great. This is Nine's waifu. I mean, one of his waifus. I guess it's either... I don't know. Does this game have an android love triangle between Operator 21B and or 210 and oh jeez, and 2B? I actually am not sure if that was the implication there, or if she's just bestie. But they were certainly very close, and that's very sad and disappointing. This is traumatic, and I don't like it. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot of triangles. Ah, crap. That's too many triangles. And too many purple dots. I don't like purple dots. I like orange dots. You can shoot the orange dots. Okay, come on. Here we go. All right. There we go. Alright. Oh, alright. We got it. Can I hack you back to health? I'd love to hack you back to health. That'd be great. If that can happen. It'd be awesome. Jeez. There we go. Warning. Uh-oh. Come on. You're gonna be okay. 21-0. Oops. There we go.
Operator!
Not great. Not great. Don't love this. Ah! Ow. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. There we go.
Coordinate data. Location.
Is she trying to help? I'd like to hope she's trying to help.
Please keep preserve mission related. One affirmation.
Oh, she's repeating all of the nice things that she said. That's... Oh, man. Oh, hello. Didn't see that coming. Should have. Alright. Okay, we got her. It worked. Oh. Well, thanks for the late assist, I guess.
A2.
2B told me.
Ah, we got the audio lag again. I apologize for this.
She told me she wanted you to become a good person.
You... Don't you dare talk to me about 2B!
Hello?
Where'd he go?
Analysis. Your Unit 9S is still alive. Query. Why would Unit A2 be concerned with the status of Unit 9S after turning on your...
Okay, everyone with the hats. They're repairing him. Hold on. Oh. The striker's worn out, I apologize. Anyway, lighting a match. Lighting an incense stick. Alright. Alright. There we go. Alright. Anyway. Oh, got him. Got him, I guess. Jeez. Right. Achievement unlocked, justice. Yeah, okay. It was August Comte? Named after August Comte, maybe? I don't know. I mean, it was a minor character. It was a minor little, apparently a minor little character, so I don't know what the significance of that is. I don't know Comte very well, if that is who that was meant to be named after, so couldn't tell you. What's the matter, Pod 42? This protocol was not an interface intended for conversational use. Acknowledged. However, this pod has confidential transmission for Pod 153. Understood. Begin transmission. An error has been detected in the transmission network between Pod 42 and Pod 153. Hypothesis. Said error is fragmented data caused by deterioration of the transmission environment. It may be so. However, it may also not be so. Message unclear. Clarification requested. After reported information exchanges between multiple pods, an unexpected phenomenon has occurred. We pods have developed unusually protective feelings towards support units 2B, A2, and 9S. Query. Could this be our will? Neat. Unknown. The definition of will is unclear. This reminds me of something we talked about a lot back when we were playing Mass Effect, when we were talking about Legion and the Geth, and the possibility of the gradual development of artificial intelligence, of true artificial intelligence, of machine persons, not just imitative artificial intelligence or virtual intelligence, as Mass Effect would call it. And a large part of this was my speculation that if AI were to actually develop something equivalent to sapience, self-awareness, a will, that it would need to develop from the ground up. We would need to begin with basic systems, the same way that organic life forms develop, beginning with the vegetative, so nutrition, reproduction, the maintenance of oneself, moving up through the sensitive, so sensation, locomotion, self-movement, self-direction, that kind of thing. And then ultimately culminating in something like self-reflection and reason, and ultimately will as well, all together with that. So this seems like it is that kind of model where artificial intelligence, true artificial intelligence, just gradually evolves, from lower systems. And I think that is probably the most plausible model. I am still, like I said, highly skeptical of the possibility of true AI, of artificial persons, right? Truly rational minds inhabiting digital bodies or mechanical bodies or whatever the case might be. I'm still very, very skeptical of the possibility, but this, if it is a possibility, it would have to be something like this, I think. So, there's that. I think this is interesting. This is really potentially neat. And like I said, hey, the pods might just be something like the main characters here. Will is the question of whether pods are capable of their own self-determination. Even if it were possible, such actions cannot be abided. Successful mission fulfillment is all that matters. So this is also very existentialist, right? So we have this debate, this tension between our will and our throneness, as Heidegger would say, right? We have WizKid, yes, we're still live. Howdy do. Welcome to the stream. Hi. But yeah, there's this weird tension, right, between our will for self-direction and self-fulfillment and ultimately self-construction for the existentialist, and what we are seen to be directed towards from something external to oneself, whether that's from our creation, from our society, from our environment, from what other people's expectations upon us, whatever the case might be. Wizkid asks, have we finished the game again? No? Good question. I don't think so. We only have endings A and B so far. We still have C, D, and E. I'm told that D and E are very close to each other, but I actually don't know. I really am not sure. Because of the atypical plot structure of this game, I was saying earlier, I have no notion at all of what to expect in terms of how long this game is and how much we have left. This game could end at almost any point, and I would not be surprised. I mean, I'd be a little surprised, but not entirely. It could make sense for it to keep going for quite some time, and for there to be more mysteries piling on and more loose ends tied up and all that. Or it realistically could just wrap things up in the next few minutes in this dialogue here, which I know it can't technically because ending C through E, but I don't know. I don't know. Whatever the case, we tactical support units have a duty to see this through to the end. So this is, again, like we've talked about before in this stream as well, the kind of authentically re-entering one's purpose, one's external purpose, but voluntarily re-entering it, observing from the outside that we have a choice, right? Whether to accept and embrace our end goal, or and then either fleeing from that realization in fear, which maybe we can say Pod 42 is doing, I'm not sure, or voluntarily choosing to take it back up and willfully follow it, or choosing something else in an authentic manner. Now, the choosing of something else is one's primary end. That's where we can get into issues of, is it the right choice? An existentialist, a pure existentialist, will say, well, that's the wrong question. But a traditional ethicist, someone in the natural law tradition, broadly speaking, would say that no, that's a very relevant question. And it's just that at this moment of anxiety, when one realizes that one is radically free, so something like a more traditionalist existentialist, somebody like John Paul II, honestly, would say that this is an important moment because it's a moment of when one chooses to embrace one's natural and even one might say divinely granted end or purpose, and choosing to embrace it voluntarily. Wizkid says, I'm pretty sure this is about the 1/3 point. It's really fascinating, though, and a big part of the appeal for me. Kind of like Metal Gear Solid. Wait, 1/3? 1/3? Really? Really? Okay, all right. Duty. You sound like an android just there. Agreed, but just as androids are influenced by humans, so are we tied to our creators? Perhaps. Pod 153. Do not die. Concept of death has no meaning to tactical support units. However, your expression of concern is appreciated. I also hope that you do not die, Pod 42. Yeah.
Physical check complete. Memory check complete. Maintenance mode complete. Yorha Unit 9S. Activate. Good morning, 9S.
Am I...
Analysis. The enemy structural unit collapsed during battle. Unit 9S suffered damage from the fall and was placed in emergency suspend mode. Fall location was deemed too dangerous, thus said unit was transported to current location. All system checks and reactivation complete.
Operator.
Operator Model 210 is deceased. Black box signal not found.
Oh. Situation report.
Tower access authentication key acquired.
Oh, goody. That's it then. We can go to the tower.
The required number of authentication keys have been acquired. The tower is now open for investigation.
Gotta find a quick save spot, though, obviously. WizKid says, I love how the weapons just float there. Yeah, that is really cool. I really do dig that. It's, they're basically, I mean, even the attacks, he's not, like, grabbing it with his hands. 9S especially is just not grabbing it with his hands, because the attacks are, he's kind of suspending it in a, I guess, a gravity field, or some kind of, I don't know, some kind of a field, right? And by doing so, it's that is what's both keeps it on his back and it allows him to attack with, you know, superhuman strength kind of thing, you know? It's a really cool little, relatively simple world-building element that I really like, that adds to the kind of, it adds to a lot of the style, especially the combat style. It's the kind of combat style you couldn't really do without some excuse for weapons just kind of floating, you know? Come on, what's going on here? Oh, also, WizKid, to explain, I apologize. Oh, jeez. Okay. To partially explain, I've been having some issues with my controller. It's been a little bit finicky. The forward has been getting stuck once in a while. Oh. Oops. Like that. Let's quick save before we head down there, yeah? Okay, now let's head down. Give it half an hour, right? Should be good to get some sufficient, some at least significant enough progress here. I'll be honest, I don't need most of this stuff. This kid has my switch sticks, sorry, can be finicky too. It's very irritating when doing complex platforming. Oh, for sure. It's honestly worse when you're doing the bullet hell. The bullet hell stuff is just a massive pain. I can do that, right? Really? Okay. For all its faults, the kindly southern accent woman voice for the hostile but friendly AI really is done well in Loki with Miss Minutes, and it's the same thing we got here. To the point where I keep thinking that is just Miss Minutes. There we go. Doubly so, WizKid says, when you need to go as fast as you can, freaking Crash Bandicoot time trials. Yeah, that seems like... Hooray?
Alert. Enemy caution level rising. Cause is most likely concern over Unit 9S gaining access to tower.
Out of my way!
Jeez, really?
Damn it! They won't stop coming!
Alert. Allied signal detected.
What's good news, I suppose? I'm guessing that's not really a friendly, but an ally, at least. E2, maybe? Whatever. It's fine.
Allies?
Oh!
Wait, you?
9S, we've been expecting you. The two of us will take things from here. You need to open the door to the tower.
Oh, okie dokie then.
Devila? Popola?
Not what I expected. Cool.
What are you doing here?
Remember your promise?
What are you talking about?
Come on, 9S. Hack in while you can.
None of this makes any sense!
We'll explain everything once we're inside.
Keeping him off me, right? Yeah, it looks good.
We've got this, 9S. You just focus on hacking.
Okie doke. Cheers. I have a left hand free, so I can drink. I mean, let's be real. This might as well be a cutscene, but... Yeah, there's a lot of them, though. WizKid says so anime. We've been having a lot of, oh wow, this is so anime moments tonight, so... This is far from the first. I forget what were the other, like, just spectacularly, unbelievably anime moments? Oh, jeez. Oh, there's more.
What's this barrier?
Analysis. It is part of a closed defensive system.
Well, how do I break it down?
Hypothesis. Unit 9S could permit its self-consciousness data to lose control. The resulting energy surge has an acceptable probability of temporarily paralyzing the barrier.
That's almost as bad as not going in at all!
Indeed. It's Berserker mode. Also very anime. Also very anime.
It's the barrier.
Popola!
That is too.
Don't! You can't do anything! The wall's got a self-closing algorithm!
Devil and I, we have to atone for our sins no matter what!
But if you do that, your circuits will...
Devil! Right.
Devila!
I hope you don't regret this.
Okay. This kid says, so what you're saying is we all weeb now, sighs dramatically. Alert. Data records discovered for units Devila and Popola. Pod 153, do you wish to open this data now? Yeah, let's do it now. I assume this is a side quest content thing. Or cutscene? I don't know. A dusty wind kisses my cheeks. Buried in sand, we press forward one step at a time. We have nowhere else to go, after all. As our models, the Devila and Popola models, are defective. I know this isn't their voice, but I don't care. Record. Transitions in the project initial phase. When first we woke, there were still people. They had flesh, egos, emotions, souls. They issued us a single order, function as observers of Project Gestalt. This is the sole mission of the twin Devila and Popola models. It is the only reason we exist at all. We're the latest model. Though many companions shared our appearance, there's a sparkle in all of our eyes, a sense of pride at having been entrusted with humanity's future. Yes, there was anxiety as well. We existed as a pair. We shared destiny's burden as a pair. Because of that, all hesitation was swept away. Each pair was given their own cities as observation areas. We were ordered to guide the replicants with our own hands, all for the sake of the promised time would one day arrive. We were the only ones who could handle such a duty. We were observers, after all. Wizkid says, see, this is exactly what I mean. Yeah, pretty much. Watch out. Devila staggers and falls in the soft yet unforgiving sand. I hurry to her side and sigh with relief when I find she's not seriously hurt. Are you alright? Sorry, sis. As I spaced out there for a bit. Super anime, love it. She smiles, the same wry smile I know so well as she rubs absently at her leg. It is wrapped in a white bandage. The bandage is coming undone. Here, let me change it. It's alright, Popola. Come on. We have to go before we lose the light. We won't be going anywhere if sand gets into that thing. Now quit whining and hold still. I'll be quick. Devila grunts and turns away. Take it as consent. You can't say that anymore. Soon we're resting in the shade of a nearby rock as I pull the bandage free. Artificial skin, torn and bloodied, peeks out from beneath the bandage. Judging by Devila's current lack of ambulatory control, I imagine the circuitry underneath has been damaged as well. Taking a deep breath, I check the circuitry to see if it can be repaired. Replace the bandage and hope for the best. Now let's check it. As expected, wiring in this nerve circuitry has been damaged. Replacing it will require new connectors as well as some tools, none of which is easy to find in a desert. Sorry about this, sis, mutters Devila. That wry smile again. It kills me every time. Don't you dare apologize, I respond. You've done nothing wrong. I calmly change the bandage, trying not to let my worry show, as I make it as tight as possible so no sand can slip inside. It's all I can do until I get the proper materials. But that's going to be a tall order, considering our current condition. Sorry, sister. Okay, now you're apologizing. We both apologize while insisting the other's apology isn't necessary. It's kind of funny in a way. Such a trivial exchange under such circumstances. We laugh together, sound echoing out across the desert, or being stolen by the cool evening wind. Report regarding the increase in relapses. There has to be some way to prevent relapses. Devilish sharp voice echoes through our private quarters. You must be quiet, sister. The replicants will hear. They won't understand, even if they did. Might be true, but regardless. Wizkid says now it's like we're in a virtual novel. I mean, yeah, that's still very fitting, tonally at least. Annoyed at my hesitation, Devila crosses her legs and scowls. The black scrawl took another victim, she says. That's 3 this month. Spreading way too fast. Wizkid says also very Metal Gear. Hence the voice, really. Let's wait and see what happens. I'm tired of hearing you say that. Shout makes me jump. Just a little, but enough for her to notice. Seeing that, her eyes suddenly open wide. How'd you like my shout up there? That was... yeah. Sorry, sis. It's not your fault. I shouldn't have lashed out like that. It's okay. I understand. It's all going wrong. You can feel it too, right? When I was first assigned to Project Gestalt, I was over the moon with pride. But now, my chest hurts just thinking about it. If I were to fail... Before we knew it, the replicants had gained a sense of self. The black scrawl started raging out of control. It moved fast, so fast, like a wind. Popola and I would go to the observation room and act like it was all okay. We talked to the replicants as if we didn't have a care in the world, but at night, we'd just hold each other and share the humor of it all. I'm glad you were with me, murmurs Popola. Couldn't have handled being an observer all alone. We were able to endure because we had each other, I reply softly. Did the humans see this coming? Is that why they made a twin model? Were they really so clever? Were they really so cruel? Couldn't have done this by myself. I would have descended into madness. I simply couldn't bear such a burden all alone. When I get the chance, I'm going to try contacting the other city, he says. Maybe these abnormalities are a localized phenomenon. Pray that's the case, I reply. Even if we're of no use ourselves, things will still work out if the other observers can pull through. Worry. It's going to be okay. But it wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. All thanks to a pair of Devila and Popola models from another town. The wind rubs my cheeks. Sand grazes my skin. It's grown cold out here. We walk with renewed purpose, hoping to make up for lost time. Devila loses her balance every now and then. It gets bad after a while. I slip myself under her arm so she won't fall again, and press on. Is your leg alright? Well, doubt I'll be dancing anytime soon, but yeah, it's fine. She smiles as she says this, but I can tell she doesn't have much left, and yet she continues to smile. Also, I won't worry. I remember when our resistance allies injured her leg. I was furious, beyond fury. I wanted to scream and cry and lose myself in it. Then she smiled, and all of that rage just drifted away. WizKid says, more existential regret. Poor androids. Yeah, being created for a purpose that is not intrinsic, right? For an extrinsic purpose like this, and then having self-awareness is, it's just existential dread, right? The whole phenomenon is existential dread. Of course, I would say that a lot of it in humans, right, arises from a misunderstanding of the divine. But in a case like this, it doesn't, right? It arises from an understanding of one's creators being finite beings and being created for an external purpose, an extrinsic purpose like this. So, yeah, this is a really cool exploration. Though I would maybe hesitate to say it's a cool exploration of human existential dread. But it's a really cool thought experiment, if nothing else. To think we have the same face, yet such different smiles. One day, I realized how she reminded me of the martyrs I'd seen in old records. That was the day we decided to leave our town forever. Record of Project Gestalt's End. Our role as observers ended on the day Project Gestalt collapsed, all due to the actions of Devila and Popula models from another town. With the original Gestalt lost, humanity was doomed to inevitable extinction. Knowing this, we gathered what remaining replicant data we could find and launched it to the surface of the moon. Though success was unlikely as finding a lost sand grain in the desert, we still had to attempt it. We still had to try. We were androids, you see. Protecting humanity was our instinct. Other androids, beholden to that same instinct, began to direct their hate at the Devila and Popula models who'd snuffed out humanity. It started small, a few offhand remarks, the occasional glance, but even the smallest things have weight. With enough of them combined, that weight eventually becomes a boulder. WizKid says, this is ultimately why I'm so anti-robot. It's all the Frankenstein problem. Human beings literally cannot comprehend godhood and the consequences of creating life. We can. We totally can comprehend the consequences of creating life. We do it all the time. I've done it twice. It's just that if and when we do create life, even of the artificial variety, creating it for a specific purpose, especially our purpose, is what can lead to this kind of existential dread. If we treat lives that we create as independent lives, then there's a real significant chance that if such a thing is possible, which is kind of doubtful, to be perfectly fair, if such a thing is possible, they could be properly well-adjusted persons. It just depends on how we treat them when we create them. Creating AI that is self-aware with an expressed purpose that we assign it is going to give rise to these problems. Creating artificial intelligence and treating it like independent persons, like we treat our own children, has, again, if it's possible, which again I doubt, if it is possible, that has a chance of some kind of success. My sister and I were the perfect target for persecution. First, we simply accepted the fact that our friends turned on us. It was almost unavoidable, I suppose. We were observers for Project Gestalt, after all. And while we didn't cause it to fail, people who did, they looked just like us. We accepted it. We took the resentment and scorn. We endured. As crazy as it sounds, I think we actually felt responsible. We moved from town to town in an effort to avoid persecution, but in one such town, my seemingly infinite patience finally broke. My sister, Devila, met with unprovoked violence at the hands of a resistance member. She said something in response to his taunts. Something quiet. though her words were ambiguous, he slashed her leg nearly in two. My vision narrowed, everything went red, and then she smiled at me. It's okay, sis. There's nothing we can do. But it was too late. My emotions were no longer in my control. I'm simply not strong enough to stand aside and let the most important person in the world come to harm. Devla and I left town that same day. Violence like that wouldn't stop. It was going to happen again. It wouldn't be coming from just one person. So rather than let them kill us, we ran. I guess it was the greatest resistance I could muster. Wizkid says, I guess I mean making artificial life. The monster is wrong, and Victor shrank in fear of it, instead of treating him properly and with unconditional love. That's very true as well, right? I mean, even artificial life, if we treat it like it's a person, again, if it's a person, and we treat it like a person, it could be a person, and it could be a properly well-adjusted person, and it might, again, wild speculation, it might bear the image and likeness of God, just like us. And if that's the case, then treating it differently is the same as treating another person differently. Inappropriate. And it can lead to these kinds of problems. Wizkid says, it's really sad to me, all the leftists who don't know what love truly is. Yeah, that's another thing, right? I wouldn't say, I in this context, I would broaden it from leftists to, or maybe specify it from leftists to existentialists, which is really the leading philosophy of our time. Right? The leading secular philosophy of our time, at least, is by and large existentialism. Right? I can confirm this in a lot of ways, but probably the most meaningful is that, I've talked about this before back in the Red Dead stream, that my students, when I talk about existentialism, they don't see it as a philosophy, unlike everything else. They just see it as the way that they always think about things. It's natural to them. And the reason it's natural to them is because that's how our society thinks of itself and thinks of people, as self-creators. We are autotheists. We worship ourselves, just as the existentialists would have it. This kind of relates back to what I was saying about the sort of the phenomenon of Chris Chan and the massive mental health problems, and then leading to internet bullying, and that leading to a sort of disjointed, distressing disintegration, if you'll forgive the alliteration. Wizkid, you weren't here yet for that. Rewind an hour or so. I talked quite a bit about... I don't talk about Chris Chan specifically. If you want to know more, there's a link in the description. Don't, if you don't already know. But the phenomenon really has a lot of impactful things that it can say about our society. Wizkid asks, if that's the case, then they would have a soul, right? Or something like it. Yeah, no, not something like it. They would have a soul, right? If it's a living thing, if it is self-directing, in the same sense that we are, or in even a relevantly similar sense that we are, it has a soul. So if it has will, if it has intellect, if it has mind, if it has rationality, if it has self-reflection, all of that, yeah, it has a soul, and it has a rational soul. It has the same kind of soul that we have, that angels have. And that, presumably, would have to be infused directly by God. A miracle would need to happen for us to create artificial life in that sense. But the cool thing about miracles is you can't rule them out. We lose the sun as dark clouds gather overhead. We continue our march. Cold wind blasts us, stealing what little body heat we have left. Body heat? Really? They're robots. Anyway, I smell rain in the air. Continue our march. Sometimes we hear animals howling in the distance. Makes us flinch every time. But we continue our march, because even this is better than suffering at the hands of our fellow androids. Should I quiet my voice down and turn the gain up? I feel like I should for this. I'm not going to do it, but I could. Why must we suffer this persecution? I know we're the same model as androids who doomed humanity, so I understand that part. At least a little anyway. But at the same time, we're not them. We're not the same. We are who we are. And that Devla and Popula were who they were. That's how I felt when I saw Devla being hurt. I wanted to shout it at everyone. I wanted to scream. As far as I'm concerned, there's only one Devla. And for her, there's only me. No one can take the other's place. Again, we have a kind of pretty blatant, honestly, a pretty blatant analogy for a kind of racism, or at least prejudice, which again, I think is done really, really well here. This is the exact kind of scapegoating that we see in the real world. This is the Girardian scapegoating mechanism applied to androids by other androids. It's neat. I'd like to. It's cool to see this represented and represented so on the nose that it's, again, I've talked about before how the philosophical messages in this game are not at all subtle, but in a lot of cases like this, I really like that because it's very straightforward and it makes its point so clearly. Anyway, WizKid says, good luck convincing people just how disordered self-worship really is. Tell me about it. Most people are so down the rabbit hole, they can't even recognize it as such. Yeah, making them recognize it is the first step, really, for anything, any kind of major systematic philosophical error like that. Rain falls from the sky. It stimulates our sensation nerves like cold needles. We need maintenance badly, but that's a pipe dream, I suppose. No android would dare help a pair of outcasts like us. You cold, Devila? I'm alright, as long as you're with me, sis. I feel the same. We press our bodies together to try and retain heat. It's cold now. Much worse than the searing heat of midday. But we just smile at each other and keep pressing on. There's another camp on the other side of the desert. A new camp. If we can just get there and finally fix Devila's leg. Yet, I wonder if there's anywhere on this planet that will take us. Hey, what's wrong? It's nothing. Don't worry about it. I do what I can to suppress the anxiety in my chest. Keep walking. The rain grows worse. It lashes at us without pause. Is this our punishment? I reach out and touch Devila's cheek or support Devila's body? Support her. She's falling. As long as we have our bodies to support one another, as long as I have someone with whom to share my fate, then I will press on, no matter what happens to me. Because I won't ever stop protecting her. I won't stop. No one stops. For that is the fate we twin androids have been assigned. That's heavy, I like that. Really cool. The failure to manage the area resulted in the collapse of the Gestalt system, which led to the decimation of the human race. Decimation is, again, improperly used here. It means killing every 10th person. Incorrect. Anyway, moving on. Due to the discovery of its instability, the twin system was removed from future android production designs. Following the incident, the Devila and Popula bottles were not dismantled. However, in order to prevent further unexpected behavior, they underwent a memory wipe. Furthermore, they were reprogrammed to generate constant feelings of guilt. Why?
That's all that remains from their personal record during the era in which they were referred to as administrators.
I see.
Query: why do the androids Devila and Popola seem to prefer death over surviving alone? There was a very high probability that at least one could have escaped.
I hope you never have to understand.
Affirmative.
Wait, it said saving possible, so let's do...
Query: why does this tower possess an entrance at all? All material transport takes place via aerial vehicles. It is irrational for an infiltration route to be so easily accessible. Hypothesis: entrance is a trap.
You think? Let's save. Before we keep going. Biscuit says, and taken a step further, the Satanists just straight up worship themselves to the detriment of everyone. I don't know if you mean detriment or you mean exclusion of everyone around them. And not only are they aware, they actively encourage it in others. Yeah, that is its own sort of related problem.
I don't care. I just have to kill them all.
Okay, Nines, chill. Alright, chill. Relax a little bit, alright? Not healthy. It's not... Oh, come on. Not a healthy way of... What is this? Let's try this again. Every once in a while I'm having to... Weird, but okay. Oh. Okay.
Hello, and thank you for choosing Tower System Services. We're so pleased you've chosen to visit the tower today. Don't forget about the special prize for the guest who unlocks the last subunit in the room just ahead. You're going to love it.
I'm gonna kill you.
I mean, yeah, at this point, yeah, I'm almost on board here. The creepy Miss Minutes-esque voice is not, oh, come on! We're doing this?
2B models?
We're doing this.
I'm glad I got to see you here. I truly am. I'll tear you apart.
Every last one of you!
Yeah, he's not intimidating at all. It's a bit of a problem. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. There we go.
To be! Don't worry, I'm going to kill you now!
Crap. Alright, there we go. Whew! Did I get it? I got it. Cool. Whew. Now you're right, WizKid. He is a little bit of a simp, and it's to his detriment.
Alert. Enemies detected.
Still a few stragglers, huh?
WizKid says he's a little nerd boy who lost his love interest, who wasn't actually a love interest. Nice. Oh, come on. Really? That's just cruel. That is cruel. Yes, that was a trap.
Alert. The structure known as the tower has opened its gate.
Let's check it out.
Oh.
A2, right? We went ahead and opened the tower. 9S is already inside.
They're
I
not doing
see.
well. Is Popula dead?
Say, did we manage to help?
You did.
Oh, darn it. I need to switch my, chipset. And then probably save and quit soon. Once I get up there. It's about midnight. Oh, it's behind me? Oh, it's behind me. Of course it is. Alright. That one, right? Yeah. Okay, assuming I can save, I can. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it here because this is as good a point as any, I think. I have no idea whether we're close to wrapping up the whole game or just this part of it. Again, like I said, I have no idea. But either way, we are continuing next week as usual, Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. So definitely do join me again. This is coming to another major head, it seems. So looking forward to that. Should be again more disturbing revelations. We had a lot tonight. We talked about a lot of stuff. So WizKid in particular, there was a lot of things in there in the sort of first half that you might find pretty interesting in terms of discussion. Anyway, so definitely I would recommend, if you missed out on any of it, go back and rewatch tonight. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the game, a lot of interesting stuff going on in our discussions. So anyway, certainly that will all continue Thursday for our Dragon Age 2 stream, and then continue again Monday back right here. So thank you all for joining me this evening. We'll see you all next time. Good night.